Evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing having a good night. Episode 4. We're episode 4 of this. This is pretty cool. Working out what comes next. I don't know. We'll see. Thing to work right. And I've been having some interesting issues with OBS tonight. So if nobody's hearing this, I'm sorry. I'm trying. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, so welcome to episode 4. I hope everybody had a great night. Apparently I have an unstable stream. But we'll see. Hope everybody's having a great night. I hope everybody is hey, what's up? It's Friday night. Most normal people are out and about. Me not being one of those. I'm home hanging out with you guys. If you're new here, we do these once a week. This is kind of my podcast slash vlog slash, what we do kind of deal. Trying to get out there, do certain things. We talk about everything. Mostly it's driven all by you guys. Yeah, we're here for 2 hours. This is your stream as much as it is mine. We can talk about anything you want. So, like I said, I don't know why it's all kinds of having issues on my other sites, but TikTok seems to be kicking off. But of course, that's all. Favorite college football team? I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. There it is, right there. My favorite college football team is Alabama. That's where I'm at. That's where my daughter's going. That's what we're playing. Playing Georgia tomorrow. That's gonna be freaking nutty. On the agenda tonight, we're gonna start with week in review. Try to get that kicked off. Well, that'll be our kickoff anyway. So week in review. I got killed by the algorithm this week. Been around. My main social media presence is on TikTok. It's kind of where I put out all my production videos, and it's where I'm putting out most of my content. I'm going to change that here pretty soon. We're going to be doing more on the Instagram and the YouTube stuff. I do upload a little bit to YouTube. I haven't gotten that deeply into it, mainly because, I'm not used to it, and I don't know what I'm doing, I guess, right? So, yeah, so, like I said, I do mostly TikTok. That's kind of where I'm at, is the TikTok. That's where I like to stay. And if you're watching me right now, my chair keeps falling. I could need a new chair. Anyway, so yeah, so week in review. So I did all my production stuff this week. I got out all my In My Headphones videos. I added a midday check-in to the whole kind of thing I was trying to do. I did some other things with um, with some of the things that are suggested out there on live stuff. Well, not on live stuff, on the creator dashboards, and I've been trying to take some inputs from some people um, to see what was going on and stuff like that. So so I did that. Um, I added a midday check in. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, so around noon every day, I kind of put out one of those non-prod, non-production. Hey, how's everybody doing? Videos. Um, trying to get people engaged. And see, um, do more with what we're trying to get the name out there, right? Not to become necessarily famous or anything goofy, but just get the name out there, right? And um, so doing that and other good stuff. Does not sound doesn't feel like I am getting any audio at all. I even tested all this before I even went online, which I thought was hilarious. But I did test it. Let's see. Of course, I'm having audio issues. Of course. Let's see if I can fix all that. That might be better. Yeah. Sometimes this thing giving me problems. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. So, like I said, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Or, well, shit, great week. It's not the weekend yet. Um, just continue working on this goofy thing. I don't know why I'm not getting audio out on the stream. I should. I should get audio out on the stream, but it doesn't. notice then. All of a sudden, all the audio dropped out on the regular stream. Right? That's not right. That's not what I wanted to happen. So, yeah, good times. So audio's going out over the stream now. Jeez, podcast. Let's see if this thing's actually kicking. No, Twitch still seems seems to think I have a bitrate problem. All right. Either way, we'll just keep riffing. So anyway, so I did pregame this time. I don't know why. I was kind of. I'd been thinking about it, and I don't know. I just wanted to work it through. I mean, I just need to go revisit Streamlabs if I'm going to be doing TikTok on this anyway. I don't know. Still having issues. Always kind of having issues on this podcast. I'll figure it out eventually. But, I mean, like last week, the podcast wasn't bad. The levels weren't bad. Everything worked out pretty good. I didn't have problems with audio or video. I still couldn't stream on TikTok. It was kind of a pain, but it all worked out, right? So I don't know. Oh, maybe I need to change a bit rate. Let's just change it. How about that? Output video 6,000. We'll see if that changes things a little, makes it more stable. I don't know. Still says it's 8,600. Hey, I dropped it to 6,000 and Twitch came back. All right. Happy days. All right. So, yes. What was I saying? Oh, so the algorithm kicked my ass. Like today, I don't know. I don't necessarily understand why or what happened. Um, I posted what I thought was so so like I said before, I want to do these production videos in the morning, and then I'm doing production or just random clips throughout the day. Yesterday's production video tanked, and I was like, well, I'm gonna try to figure out, um, uh, you know, maybe if I post more during the day, the algorithm pick it up and it'll start pushing the other videos. So I posted a couple of randoms. I posted a car line video. I posted my normal middays. I did a couple text posts. I did a couple we call them quad posts, right? I did a couple of those, and uh, so my midday and my random stuff that just kicked. I mean, they were over 100 views within I don't know 10, 20 minutes, 20 minutes to an hour. They were over 100 views. My production post was still tanked. It was like 29. What's today? Friday. So it was like the Throwback Thursday post. It was the weirdest thing because you'd think the Throwback Thursday post would just pop because I did Billie Jean, for God's sake, right? So I did that, and so the two mids popped, and then like my text one popped, and I got up over 200, 300, 200, 200, 300 views on those posts, and I was like, sweet, we're kicking. But the production video still just crump. I couldn't figure it out. I actually posted like within the first couple hours of putting the production video out, I posted that the production video was crumping again, and I was pissed. I was mad. I was mad as hell. So this morning, because I've got the hardest head on the planet, and I don't take failure very easily. So this morning I posted my production video, and it didn't do anything. It kind of just sat, and I was like, okay, well, am I gonna have another one of these low view days? So then I did everything I'm supposed to do, right? Or everything the Creator Academy says you're supposed to do, right? I was doing all the engagement. I was doing all the, um, the chats and just commenting and favoriting and liking and everything on everybody's videos. And so I started rolling through all that, and then I posted one of my randoms, just hey, how's everybody doing this morning? Hope everything's going great. It's Friday. Have a nice day. And then around noon, I posted my standard midday. So that's gonna kind of be my standard, right? So now I've got 3 posts in the books. I've got my regular production. I got a bunch of comments. I got a bunch of likes. I got a bunch of follows and um, all those things in the works, and everything is just crump. I mean, I'm talking like 1 view here, 2 views there, 3 views here. I'm going, what the heck is going on? I don't know. It was just terrible. So I went and I looked up. What kind of post or whatever is trending. So I did that and ended up grabbing one of them quad posts with the personal templates and all that, and I posted that, and that crumbled. And I'm going, man, what is going on? So I put out another text post. I put out something else. And I was like, well, it's just gonna be one of those days. So just before I went on live here, to start the podcast, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bitch about it. Yep, it's gonna be a thing. I'm gonna complain, but I'm gonna complain to my people. This is what I'm doing. Um, and so yeah, so this week's views, posting activity, all that stuff, that was kind of up and down. That was very non-committal, I guess you could say about it. So this weekend, I'm gonna take some time, probably Sunday, maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow while I'm watching a football game. To I'm gonna go online and create all my posts for the week, and I'm gonna do some real planning, and maybe that'll work. I don't know. We'll see. Gotta try something. I don't know. What else went on this week? Just a lot of work. Um, Work was pretty standard. You know, we're trying to get things together, doing certain things. Um, you know, if nobody knows, I'm a geek, right? I can do blue collar work, but geek. I've been done all of that. So I do the geek stuff now, which is okay. I mean, I don't mind it at all. I'd like to be outside, but that's not what I do. So yeah, I mean, it was just your standard week. It rained. That was the biggest problem. Like I couldn't get out and um, do anything. Right, like the lawn's like up to my knees, uh, because it just rained all week long. So I didn't get out to do that, and I didn't get out to I didn't go fishing at all. I usually go fishing on Wednesdays, mainly because my daughter isn't. She's not at guard or doing any of her stuff. She's at work, so it makes it a little easier for me to go fishing on Wednesdays. So I do that, and then I usually go fishing on Saturdays and things like that. So, but I didn't get to do either one of those. I might go fishing in the morning. Um, just watch for my live fish all the time. when I am fishing, I am usually trying to be online. Let's see what else happened. Oh, so the big activity actually happened Saturday morning. So um, one of the craziest things that happened to us when we first moved here, moved to Alabama, North Alabama, 23 years ago, was we experienced what's called Trail of Tears, right? So I think everybody should know what Trail of Tears is, right? It was the march that the Native Americans took from um, from where they were being held to a reservation, and a bunch of them died, right? A good high percentage of them passed during that march. So in Alabama, we have what's called the Trail of Tears ride, where um, bikers, motorcycle enthusiasts, riders get together um, one day a year, and they travel from eastern Tennessee all the way through Alabama to um, Pickwick Lake or Waterloo, and they have a big powwow in Waterloo, Alabama. And I took part in a piece of it, a very small piece of it, way back, probably 20 years ago. And then, circumstances with kids and everything, sold my motorcycle. And you know, so a couple years ago, I went out and bought was it a couple years ago or last year? A couple years ago, I went out and bought I had a sport bike for a while, and if anybody's ever ridden a sport bike, and especially if you're old and fat like me, it's really hard on your hands, so you don't ride them very long distances. Kind of just tooling around town, popping wheelies, doing stupid teenager stuff. Um, and I was gonna race it at Barber in Birmingham, but I never got around to it because I just got old and fat, and I man. So I so I got this Harley, and this year I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna ride Trail of Tears. I'm gonna ride the Alabama portion. So what they do is they ride from basically Eastern Tennessee, Chattanooga area, um, all the way to Huntsville, Alabama, where I'm at. They stop for lunch at Redstone Harley Davidson, and then they continue on to Waterloo, and it's about a 120-mile ride from lunch in Redstone Harley Davidson all the way to Waterloo to the powwow. The powwow is huge. I've never seen anything like it. I'll get to that in a second. So, like I said, I decided to go. I'm gonna go ride this thing. So, I went there. I went to Redstone. Got there about 9 o'clock in the morning. Of course, after this podcast, which lasts until 10 o'clock in my time, which I wasn't really thinking ahead. So I got there, and it was amazing. We got there, or I got there before people, before the group from Chattanooga actually got in. So I got in there about 2 hours ahead of time. Well, I'd say about an hour ahead of time. So got there, parked the bike. They had like a bazaar and like a craft show and all kinds. They had tables set up and food trucks and all kinds of stuff. It was pretty cool. And I met some amazing people. And I didn't realize there was this many bike enthusiasts in Huntsville. So I went and I did all that, met these folks, and found around, and then probably between 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, just so paint the picture a little bit. There was probably about 150 to 200 bikes at Redstone just from the Huntsville area. And people were coming in from 40, 50 minutes away, from the north, from like Tennessee, and from the south, from like Birmingham, Montgomery. And they came up. And um, so there's like 150 to 200 of us already there, and then all of a sudden, all of these bikes showed up, and they just kept coming and coming and coming. And they, when I say they filled two large, like airport parking lot size parking lots, I'm not kidding. They literally filled this area. It was amazing. It was incredible. I couldn't believe it. How many people um, were actually there and joined in and did that kind of thing. So yeah. So like all these people showed up and it was incredible and it was awesome and there was all these people were amazing. Um, and I mean, it's so funny because it was like 1,000 of your typical biker people, right? Yeah. And I say that in jest because they're the big burly, you know, cut wearing leather, long bearded, and uh, just the whole biker gang persona thing. They were the coolest people I have ever met in my life. I mean, everybody was welcoming. Everybody was, hey, I like your bike, and it was like they were sharing, and everybody's taking photos. It was awesome, absolutely incredible. And that was before we even rode. So we hung out there for probably we hung out there for an hour after they rolled in for lunch. Basically, we had, like I said, the food trucks there, and they had a live band, and guy, the front man for the live band looked like Vince Neil now, like Motley Crue, straight up Vince Neil from 2025. It was hilarious, but he was great. Don't get me wrong, it was awesome. So we did that, and um, they called for kickstands up, and they were gonna. So at 12:30, we started filing out, and it was 100. It's a 120-mile ride from Huntsville to where we were going, and I gotta say, it was the most incredible thing I think I've ever experienced as far as support and love and just incredible. Um, you go through, the small towns and the large towns and just open wide areas and things like that during that 120-mile ride. I did not keep my hand on the left handlebar probably the whole time I was there. Very, it was, people were lined up along the roads for 120 miles, and we were revving engines, and we were waving at people, and the kids, and every time you rev the engine, because it's a Harley, right? It makes a lot of noise. Every time they rev the engine, the Harley was, the kids were just freaking out. It was just the joy and the smiles on all their faces. It was awesome, absolutely incredible. Um, we got to Waterloo, and it was almost like this thing was it was incredible. Um, they had this large park that's along Pickwick Lake, and um, they had a powwow. And I've never been to a powwow before. I didn't know anything about it. And this these Native Americans, they're doing their dances and they're sharing their cultures, and it was it was amazing. I can't. I just have to say it was a whole bunch of awesome people that I didn't even know existed. This group was incredible. They were all my age, which is hilarious because they're all Gen Xers, and we were all complaining about the same thing at the end of the ride. We were all complaining about the same thing. Me and the guy that we were riding next to were doing the exact same thing. We're all in the back going, "Oh my god, my back!" We're twisting on the bikes. Then we get off and we're at the what do you call it? The powwow, and um we were, everybody was saying the same thing. I need water because it was hot as heck. We're all just down in water, and everybody was like, "Oh, I can't believe how it hurts so bad." And then a bunch of us, right, the 120 that left from Huntsville, we got to all ride back to Huntsville. We got to drive 120 miles back to Huntsville, and yeah, and that was uneventful. That was basically just solo riding. It wasn't anything spectacular about that. It was, but yeah, it was an incredible experience. Um, if I'll say it to my Gen X folks that have motorcycles, if you guys can get out on a group ride or join a group, um, do it. Do it. It will absolutely surprise you how cool these people are, especially the people that are our age that are um, taking that time. I mean, it really is an amazing experience, and it should be absolutely cherished. Just it was awesome. So yeah, so that was my Saturday. Sunday, I woke up and I think I posted about it on TikTok. I I couldn't get out of bed. I was locked up. I was locked up from my shoulders to my hips. I was like, I'm not moving today. It was absolutely awful. Um, so yeah, I did that. I couldn't believe how locked up I was. So yeah, so that just means I just got to get out and probably do a little bit more on the old calisthenic side of the house and maybe some stretching. I see a lot of advertisements for all this Tai Chi stuff. So I don't know, maybe I'll try that. But yeah, it was awesome. And Sunday I couldn't move. Monday wasn't much better, but it was better because I did get up and stretch and do a couple things here and there. So yeah, so get out, do the thing, meet the people. Part of this whole journey here that I'm having with this podcast and this online presence, excuse me, which will be expanding, of course. We'll be expanding to YouTube here this coming week and Instagram probably the week after. It depends. It might be Instagram first, YouTube second, because I think YouTube is more complicated. So this online presence, that's me. Like I think we talked about it last week. Me, step out, do your thing, rock it, grind through it, just knock it down. That's gonna be the thing. So anyway, we talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about that. I'm saving the big announcement for hour 2. So we're going to name this podcast. That's kind of going to be the thing. I even got a logo that I'm going to put up for it. So that should be cool. That'll be an hour 2 of this podcast adventure. I figured, we've been doing this for a month, right? So this is our 4th. So one a week, every Friday, going live, trying to set the habit, set the trend, that kind of thing. Yes, I am doing lives randomly throughout the week. I did a what do you call it? Adam Fall the other night. Found out from a buddy of mine who actually watched it on Twitch. Well, didn't watch it live, watched it back, and found out that the audio wasn't working. Come on, that's freaking suck. So, um, yeah, I did a random live yesterday too. I did one with I was doing dishes and grilling. So I'll do those, but our foundation is going to be this podcast. Again, I'm naming it tonight, hour 2 at 9 o'clock. After I take my break, because I can't talk this long at all. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. Um, I didn't come up with any topics this week. I know last week was fun. We had the orca topic, which was hilarious. Is orca really an introvert? Um, so I had that. That went over like a lead brick. Um, and we had a couple other things go on, but yeah. So I got real cool plans. So if you've been with me since the beginning, so episode 1, I talked about why I started this journey, this project, I guess you could say, stepping out of my comfort zone, that kind of thing. And so in week 1, I talked about that. And God, if you were here at week 1, whew, I pre-gamed way too much on week 1. Absolutely, I fully admit that I pre-gamed the hell out of week 1. Week 2 was a little better. I was getting a little bit more comfortable in my skin. Week 3 wasn't bad. I had some audio issues again. Streamlabs was not agreeing with me. And then we're here. And you've got me getting better at this, trying to figure it all out. Trying to make it happen. But week 1, I told you kind of the history of this was I wanted to start kind of a persona thing, right? And it ended up being because I got this thing about over planning. So it ended up being this almost a serial show, like a comedy show almost, and it was meh, right? I couldn't figure out what to do correctly, and I wanted to do a kind of an episodic thing. Um, so it just ballooned into too much, right? So I just, like I said in week 1, I said, screw it. I'm gonna get out here and just do it. Right? I'm gonna turn the live camera on, and I'm just gonna freaking smack it. That's basically it. I'm just gonna lay the smacketh on it, and we're gonna knock it out, right? And that's what I've done. That's what I've done for 4 weeks, and that's what I'll continue to do until we're working faster and harder, right? Or we get some traction. And again, we've been at this for just about 4 weeks total, and the channel is growing, and we're doing pretty good. So, I'm happy about it. I didn't expect to have 10,000 followers in 2 weeks. I mean, nobody wants to look at this all the time. They don't, which is fine. I don't care. I'm good with this. The face for radio. So yeah. So in hour 2, we're actually gonna name this. I'm gonna give you a little hint. I'm going back to I'm trying to reuse some of those ideas that I had. We've got a logo. We'll probably have a topic set for next week. That's not just me randomly riffing on all this stuff, because these are turning into randoms, which is okay. I don't mind that. I like interacting with folks, but nobody likes to comment when I'm online, which is fine. We're building. So we'll riff on that, and we'll work some of that stuff out, and we'll see where it goes. It should be pretty good. I'm hoping it'll be. So, and again, this podcast is for you guys, right? It's meant as a gathering place. This is like I said, last Saturday, being around 1,000 other people with the same interests as I have, in being able to talk to those folks and kind of pick their brains and things like that. I want that here, right? I want to build that community here, and that's what I'm trying to do with this podcast, video cast. don't even know what you call it anymore. It's like a vlog, live vlog, maybe. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Good times are had by all. Like I said, I hope everybody's having a great day or had a great week. Um, Not much in the way of news, other than the stupid standard crap. I mean, I can't watch the news. I just can't. It's 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 not this depressing. It's just ugh, right? It's been going on for so long now that you're just kind of like, oh, just stop. Everybody take a breath. That's kind of where I'm at. Everybody just freaking take a breath. So I don't watch the news very much anymore. I used to. I used to obsess about it. It was pretty bad. So yeah, I don't obsess about the news anymore. So what else is going on? Got a bunch of people joining on TikTok. I don't have anybody joining on Twitch or Kick, and if they're there, they're not speaking out. Or YouTube even. I don't think I have anybody on YouTube. But again, YouTube's a weird animal. Like I don't know how to be successful on the YouTube. I just don't. I don't even know where to start. You can do shorts, you can do longs. Like my mental health ride videos are longs, which are I know are way too long for um, TikTok. Right? Nobody's gonna sit for 4 minutes on TikTok. They're gonna scroll through it. So my production videos are standard right around 30 seconds. But I'd like to make those longer, right? I'd like to expand those out, add a little bit more animation to the production and things like that. But I can't do that on TikTok. I can do it on YouTube, but then I get into trouble because if you go longer than a minute on the music that I want to use, I have to be licensed for it. And if I'm not licensed for it, then they don't. Then they say we're blocking this video. You can't use this. You can't use this music, and it just totally ruins the whole deal. Right? Like I couldn't. Like I would love. So I discovered. I myself discovered Cam Allen this week while looking for new music, to post in one of my production vids, and um, it was funny because I was like, I posted the production vid. I tagged him in it, and he came back and was like, "Man, that's awesome. I love it." And I told him, I said, "Look, if you got to put anything else out, I'll feature you on that. No problem, right? But I can only feature 1 minute of his music on any platform, any given platform. So it becomes an issue, right? When I want to add specific music to specific videos or clips or animations or something like that. So it's kind of a pain. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about YouTube. I want to do more long form, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it out there correctly or the way that I want to put it out there. I guess I can put it out correctly, but I don't think it's going to come up. It's not going to pop right. That's not cool. But then I got to figure out, the Twitch thing and the Kick thing. How do I advertise for my lives? Because one random viewer um, isn't gonna do it on Twitch and Kick and things. It's mainly because I'm trying to find the interaction. Not that I'm lonely. I'm just trying to find the interaction, get the conversation. Want to get the conversation started. That's kind of the point. I hope. So again, this weekend, let's plan. Let's start diving into some of these other platforms. Try to up up my game. The TikTok game. I mean, I'm kind of forced. Um, or I'm at the mercy of their algorithm at the moment. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. I think it's probably them just testing me to make sure that I'm not gonna quit because 30, 40 views, you're kind of just like, nah, piss on it, right? So I've met. So I will say this. So again, I started really diving in on this little project, this endeavor on um, September 5th. September 4th is September 5th. I think I wrote it down actually, just as a kind of a side note. I was like, all right. So it was 17 days last weekend, or last live was 17 days since I had actually started down this path. So that's 24 days since I started down this path, and I was, um, I'm flabbergasted by the number of folks that have followed my content, my people, right? And I've been following a ton too. I'm up to like 900 people that I'm following, which is cool. I mean, again, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to create community. That's the plan. I want to create community, and that's what I'm trying to do. So, um, you know, I'm literally flabbergasted by the number of followers that I have now, um, just in the 24 days that I've been doing it. And I haven't done any gimmicks to do it either. It's been one of those organic deals where I just sort of uh, putting videos out. Just this is me. This is how it is. This is how it goes, right? And it's been great. And connecting to people um, through music too, which is really cool because like if somebody does watch one of my production videos, like one of my production videos kind of popped a little bit last week, and the comments I got on that were awesome because they were like, "Hey, this is how I'm feeling today," and I'm like, "Man, just comment what's in your headphones because if you feel through music, like I do, you can always assign a song to um, to what you're feeling for that day, what you want to do. So and so I want more of that. That's kind of what I'm trying to build is more of that community. Hey, I feel like this today, and we can all be like, dude, you're gonna get it, you're gonna crush it. Don't worry about it. Or hey man, if somebody can go to somebody else and say, hey, you're crushing it, don't worry about it, right? That's support, and it's not a I hate to say it, it's not a liberal thing. It's more of a just be you kind of thing, right? And that's all kind of do it. Even if you don't agree with what I have to say, okay, don't agree. I ain't gonna hate you for it. I don't have to hate you for it. We can all have differences of opinion. It doesn't bother me. I mean, shit, man. You could be pink with purple polka dots. All right, we're coming up on first break. I'm gonna take my break real quick. I'll be right back. Um, come back and join us, and we're gonna name this live. We're actually gonna put a name to it. We're gonna put a name to it. We're gonna put a title to it. We're gonna have topics. We're actually gonna talk about things. We're not just gonna riff for 2 hours, which I'm doing now. We're gonna save the riffing for the week and the gaming for the week. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So we'll come back here in a couple minutes, and we'll Appreciate everybody that's been online with me, especially on TikTok, because again, I don't have the production stuff on TikTok. Got it on the Twitch and the YouTube. So I appreciate everybody's been here. I'll be back in a couple minutes, and we'll name this thing. And I wasn't the one. Let me just put another hint out there. I wasn't the one that named this podcast. My 13-year-old actually came up with the name on this, and she's the creative child. She's like I said last week. She's my queen of the weirdos. So, you know, we're gonna come back here in a couple minutes, and we'll name this thing and kick this thing off real. So next week we'll have the full blown production. Make sure that we're kicking it when this grand experiment will actually end up moving forward. See you in a couple minutes. Talk to y'all in a bit. Hey everybody, I am back and I need to turn that down because I hear the echo in my ear. Anyway, so we're in hour 2 now. So I promised that I would tell you what the podcast is going to be called. So I had this idea way back when that I wanted to actually build something, right? And I had to think about um, what do I know? What 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 do I know? What do I know best, right? And I didn't want to be some geeky cyber BS goofy podcast. I wanted it to be something real, something that other people can relate to, and a large group of people could relate to. So I came up with this idea about what do I know? What do I do every day? What do I do outside of my 8 hour a day, 9 hour a day job? And that's just being a dad, being present, being here, um, raising 3 kids on my own. Right? Again, I got 3 here, 100% of the time. They're all mine. There is no backdrop. There is no parachute. Um, it's me. It's me and me alone. That's what I do. That's my main focus, my main job. It's the reason I actually work, right? If I didn't have kids, I'd be out surfing. I'm probably not surfing because I guess fat. But, I'd be out doing other things, you know. But it's my main job. It's my main focus in life. It's to raise these kids to not only be healthy but give them the tools they need to be as successful as I can make them on my own, right? And it's not easy with 3 of different ages between 16 all the way down to 11. There's some definite, totally different needs, right? To try to guide them in the right direction and make them successful in their own right and make sure that they understand their own identities and things like that. So, like I said, I came up with this idea a bunch of a bunch of months ago when I wanted to step outside my comfort zone and start this project, this journey. So I came up with this idea and I said, well, let's just make it about single fat dads. So that's what I'm going to do. So starting next week, this podcast is going to be called the Single Fat Dad Podcast. And again, I've got some production stuff. I've got some other things. I've got a whole list of topics that we can go over. But we're going to be the Single Fat Dad Podcast. You guys can come on. You can ask your dad questions. Ask your single mom questions. There's more single moms out there than there are single dads. But and I know the single moms struggle just as much as we do. Probably more, in all honesty. But single dads can come. I want single dads in here so that they can be like, how do I do girl hair, right? Because I had to learn that. That's not just something that's like born into a man, right? How do you do girl hair? I don't have any hair. There's no doing hair here, right? So you got to learn how to do the ponytails and the braids and the weird stuff because when they were younger, that's all they wanted to do. And the girl stuff, right? The boy stuff I kind of got handled. I try to make sure he doesn't hurt himself, but the girl stuff you have to, you got to work at as a single fat dad. So that's what we're gonna do. So moving forward, we're gonna be the Single Fat Dad Podcast every Friday. I'll probably move it up an hour because I know it's tough for folks on the East Coast to attend. But yeah, we're gonna be the Single Fat Dad Podcast. And I apologize, TikTok folks. Again, you're not getting the full production value because you're on my phone. But I'm gonna post the. I'm gonna fire up the actual image and TikTok folks. I will be posting it right after this um, to show everybody. But yeah, so we'll be the Single Fat Dad podcast going forward. Um, Starting next week, we're gonna have fun, right? We're gonna laugh at each other. That's what I want to do. Is I want to laugh at each other. It's like, what kind of mistakes did you make? Like, I swear to God, the first time I ever had to go buy like feminine products for my daughter, holy crap! And then she had to school me on what I was supposed to buy. That was rough, right? And then so yeah, so if you're up on Twitch and YouTube, the Single Fat Dad logo's up over there. Again, I'll post it on TikTok later this afternoon or later this evening after this, and with the announcement and all that. So yeah, I mean, and then I'd love it for moms, right, to come in here and give us dipshit dads advice on, hey, you're a dumbass. Don't do that, right? Because again, I'm on my own. I don't do all this all the time, right? This. I mean, I don't do this all the time, but I mean, I don't have a parachute. I don't have there's no big pillow at the bottom. If I fall off the cliff, I'm smacking into the bottom. And I swear to God, I've done it more times lately with my 16-year-old daughter than I've done in any relationship I've ever had. I've smacked that bottom so many times. Holy crap. I've had her not talk to me for 3 days because I told her at one point that I think she should change her hair because it didn't look good with what she was wearing or something. I said something stupid, not realizing what I was saying, and man, she didn't talk to me for 3 days. So, yeah, I mean, I want single dads, I want dads. Anybody that wants advice. I want moms in here so maybe they can get a perspective on what we do or what we're going through. And I want you know I want that environment, the to share some of that stuff so that we can talk about it and laugh about it and about our mistakes. Because man, I got some stories. I could tell you stories about things that just wow. I've jacked some stuff up. Let me tell you how bad I've jacked some stuff up in certain times. So, um, yeah. And again, um, the whole premise around this podcast isn't going to change, right? We're here in open forum. We're not going to beat each other up, and we're not going to dog each other out for the mistakes that we made because man, there's some dumb ones, stupid ones. Like God, lately, what's the one lately? Um, ah, there's a good one too, and I had it in my head, but again, as you get older, you start to see squirrels and walk on. So um, yeah, that's what I want. I want this community be about that, and even the so I'm a Gen Xer, right? I kind of take pride in that. I'm Gen X. I'm a vet. You know, I want those perspectives, especially from the older Gen Xers that are now probably starting to raise their grandchildren. Uh, you know, the that kind of perspective, of hey, dude, you're screwing this up. This is why, like, or advice. I'm a single dad, right? I work 10, 8 to 10 hours a day, depending on the day. You know, it could go as low as figuring out um excuse me um recipes, right? Share recipes. That'd be freaking spectacular. Because if you watched my live the other day, I grilled sausages and made powdered potatoes. because honestly, the kids will eat it, and we're moving forward from there. I mean, after that, it's like um, everything is golden after that. Kids are eating it, rocking. So yeah, so that's what it's gonna be about. Single fat dad, right? We'll call it the Single Fat Dad podcast. It'll be every Friday 8 o'clock. We'll hang out. We'll talk about dad shit for 2 hours. I'll have dad news, dad inventions, dad crazy things like the freaking dad with the vacuum cleaner trick with the whole hair thing. It never worked for me. I don't know. My daughter's hairs were my daughter's hair was too thick. I think it was. Um. So hey, thanks for the likes. Appreciate them. My daughter's hair was too thick. I couldn't do the vacuum cleaner thing because it was awful. But tricks and tips and things like that. What should I look out for? Like my daughter went to homecoming, and I let her go out and buy the dress. And when she came back, I almost had a true heart attack. There was no material at all. But again, there's a mom's perspective of that, and then there's like the dad's perspective of that, right? Um, so we would like the mom's perspective because us single dads can't figure out that might not be appropriate. So we're trying to uh, to find that delicate balance, and any of the any help we can get in that area. So you know that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna have real topics. Yeah, I've been struggling. I put out the polls. Um, well, the poll last week for topics. I didn't get any answers. Well, I got two answers. One was the Orca one. No, actually, I think they're both the Orca one. And they were the dumbest things in the world because I couldn't get a response. Um, so I'm good, Evan. Thank you. I couldn't get a response on the call for topics, so I made up my own, and they were awful, terrible. And again, I never meant when I started this thing for scheduling an every Friday deal. I never meant it to be a script thing. And I was kind of thinking, like I said, I'm trying things. I'm experimenting. I'm trying to get people to join and be present in the thing. So, like I said, I thought to myself this week, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna take those old ideas that I had, and blow apart all the back end bullshit that I was, because OCD, ADHD me was like, oh, you got to do it this way, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you plan until you die, right? You never move forward. It's death by planning. So that's where I was at when I decided to start riffing. And um, I'm gonna take pieces and parts of that, and put it all together, and try to create something new. I might actually, thinking about it, I probably will want, we'll clip things out and post them also, so that maybe that may be a good thing for YouTube, because again, I'm struggling with YouTube content. I can't figure it out because honestly, it's the most complicated. I think, well, Twitch is probably not as complicated because that's just basically it. My daughter says if you're not gaming on Twitch, you're not going to get views. Yeah, okay, so that's coming out of the mouth of a 13-year-old. So speaking of 13-year-olds, so um, most Friday nights, Saturday nights, she's got a neighbor friend that she likes to spend the night with. Well, she spends the night Friday nights, and then her friend comes over on Saturdays. And they have pizza Friday, and they do the thing. Well, she was supposed to be here tonight. I was going to interview her for this for um, this live, right? I was going to interview her and say, hey, what are we doing? How are you? What's going on with a 13-year-old set this time? I know you're queen of the weirdos. What's that mean? That kind of thing. Yeah, but she bailed on me. She's like, nah, I'm going to my friend's house. I'll see you later. So she was gonna be part of this whole announcement and all that, but I didn't bring her along. I was like, you go do your thing. I'll announce it on my own, and we'll interview her next week. So yeah, so that'll be part of it too. It's like I'd like to get my kids in here to get their perspectives on you know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Maybe give other people uh, perspective on things. That'd be pretty cool. Out of the mouths of the teenagers, right? Well, two teenagers and a boy, 11-year-old, which all he cares about is Fortnite. So anyway, yeah, maybe he can help me out on the whole gaming side because you're supposed to do a certain amount of gaming when you go live like this. Apparently, you're supposed to do a certain amount of gaming. I play Call of Duty and I play campaign mode. Nothing exciting. Like everybody's seen that, so I don't get a ton of views, especially on Twitch. I gotta figure that out too. My daughter was like, "Yeah, you need to play this game." It was some weird, um, what was it? It was a weird, like, stacking game. It was the goofiest thing I've ever seen. And she's like, "Yeah, you need to play this. It's extremely, it's popular. Just go out and play it." And I'm like, I don't know about it. So yeah, so I haven't done that well. I've been playing. I picked a random game that I thought would be cool. It's called Atomfall, and I've been playing that online live on Twitch. I can't play it on TikTok yet, so because again, I can't multi-stream to TikTok because TikTok doesn't like Mac. Excuse me. So um, I've been playing this Atomfall game, which is like a weird kind of basement British version of Fallout. It's okay. It's all right. I'm gonna change it up. I think I'm gonna go play something I like here soon. We'll have that going. So yeah. So single fat dad. That's what we're gonna be. Single fat dad. Speaking of single fat dad, I looked in the mirror the other day and I was like, holy shit, what happened? I was like, oh my god, what did you do to yourself? So I gotta work on that a little bit. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think we'll bringing single moms, single dads uh together, not together, but together in conversation, sickos. I think we'll do real well. Um, Sharing funny stories and stuff like that. Like, or just sharing what our goofy kids do because we can't watch. So when you're a single dad, perfect example. When you're a single dad and your attention can only go so far from one kid to the next, right? Um, so if you're working with one and the other one sticks his head in the oven or does something totally stupid, there's nothing you can do but laugh, right? I mean, I'm teaching one kid how to do something. I can't remember what, and the other one is off like sticking a pencil in his ear, or she's doing like painting her whole arm. You know, and you're not just not watching it, but there it is. There's you kind of go, as long as they're not bleeding, you're all right. So yeah, so, like, stories like that. As long as they're fed, as long as they're not in the hospital, you made it one more one more day without extensive extensive bills and other mess, or any um, starving children. Speaking of starving children, holy crap, my boy can eat. I haven't figured this kid out. I put so I don't know if you guys have it in your area, but we got this thing called My School Bucks, right? Where you put some money on basically a lunch account. They go in, they put their pin in, and they can buy lunch. This kid out eats my 16-year-old and my 13-year-old every single day. He goes through more money at lunch than both of my daughters combined, and I don't know why. Drives me bananas because I keep getting phone calls. Hey, Monroe's over on his lunch account. Why? Why, child? The other day he says to me, he says, "Well, I I bought lunch, and then I bought 3 apples, and then I was still hungry, so I bought an ice cream and a soda." I'm like, dude, if you're gonna eat that much, I will buy you the stuff you can make your own lunch. How about that? And you can be as big as you want it to be. I don't know. He's freaking 11 years old. He's 5'6", almost 5'7", and he's he's built like a truck, and it's hilarious. He's actually bigger than both his sisters, which is even more funny. They're gonna start to get it back. Have all the 11 years of crap that they've been giving him. So that should be fun. Anyway, we got 30 minutes left in this podcast. Made it cool. It's getting easier. I have to say. Um, I started this thing and I was like, man, how am I gonna make it through 2 hours? Because I set a 2 hour limit. I was like, man, I can do an hour, right? I can knock down an hour, not easily. This is how I talk to myself, right? Not easily. I can knock out an hour, no problem. Um, but if I want to push myself, I'm gonna do two. If I want to push myself past the point of, you know, getting through it, just getting through it or faking it, I gotta push to two. So that's why I set that 2 hour time limit originally. Now I gotta say, in like week two, was it last week? It might have been last week. Last week I didn't make it full 2 hours. I was like an hour and a half. I totally ran out of things to say, and I was like, well, let's moving on. Thanks for the likes, Trip. So, I made it an hour and a half, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. I don't have anything to say, so I'm going to move on. But we're going to make it to 2 hours. We got 33 minutes and 10 seconds left, and I don't have to take another break yet. So we're going to make it. Oh, boy, we've talked about the kids. We've talked about the Trail of Tears ride, which is amazing. We talked about all kinds of things. I'm doing all right, Trip. How are you? So, yeah, I mean, it's been fun. I might do an MHR tomorrow. MHR, for those who are here that don't know, are what I call mental health ride. Basically, um, I well, that's good. Been been better, but been worse. Honestly, man, been there. Probably there right now. Middle of the road is okay because it's still middle of the road. You're not on the sides. You're running off into the ditch, and we have some issues. But if you're middle of the road, you're rocking because you're still rolling. So you just got to look at it that way, man. I mean, seriously, that's you just got to look at it that way. I'm in the middle of the road. I can keep trucking. Eventually, I'll get over to one lane. I'll pick my lane and I've been in the ditch. Been in the ditch quite a bit. Just recently, I was in the ditch. Yeah. Um, it's tough, right? Keeping positive um, in bad situations or um, bad times is not it's not easy. And all I can say is if you can keep positive through bad shit, um, it'll make you stronger when you come out the other end, and you will come out the other end. Absolutely. Um, I've seen it. I've done it. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I bounced off the bottom just recently. I mean, I smack face right in the bottom. Um, and you know, so I'm living proof that bouncing off the bottom does happen. I mean, this whole deal, this whole podcast, that is bouncing off the bottom. This is my this came out of that. I had to find something as an outlet so that I can move forward. And I'll tell you what, uh, it's been it's been amazing. It's just 100% stepping out of my comfort zone, making the leap, knocked it out. Mwah! Chef's kiss, absolutely. Um. Anyway, hey, see, there you go. Right? Yeah, man, I'm sorry your car broke down and everything, but yeah, exactly. See, there it is. That's the attitude, right? One step forward. You made it the creator program. That's awesome. I'm not there yet. Um, but that's how you got to look at it, man. You do. I I got a summons today, right? For a credit card that I didn't even know about. So it's like it's just one of those things, right? But it's not bothering me because I'm like, all right, well, crap. I'm gonna deal with that. That's kind of where it is. Yeah, summons the court. I'm being sued for a credit card that I didn't even know that I owed it. It probably didn't. It was just in my name, and somebody used it. She shall not be named. And so, and did not pay it off, and I end up with the bill. So, yep, good times. So again, when I talk about being in the bottom, I've probably seen it. I probably experienced it more than once. Actually, I have, I have, I have three. Yeah, not doing that again. Sorry. So yeah, you'll get through it. So what I was saying was mental health rights. So mental health rights are for me. I have to get out and breathe. Right? You have zero. Oh, good luck. Keep it between the ditches. I mean, swear. Sometimes, I mean, ex-wives, ex-husbands, um, you know, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, same idea. The only advice that I'll give my kids or anybody is make sure you're solid first, right? My first one I wasn't solid at all, at all. I think I was 20, 19, 20. I was 20 when I got married. I was still in the military. I was gone all the time. She was a barracks bunny, and yeah. Anyway, um, that didn't last very long. And then my second was I was solid. I was very very solid, and that lasted uh, 18 years. And then this last one, I it was I don't even get into it, but yeah, she was a narcissistic, wanted me because I had a job kind of thing. It was really weird, really wacky situation, and I recognized it actually. It took me 6 months, but I recognized it quick. Well, I recognized it after that, but I'm still paying for that one. That one. Yeah. Hello. Oh, and my son's friends here. He should be sleeping. 9:30 at night. I'm kidding. You guys can hang out. Anyway, back to mental health, right? So mental health is very, very important to me. Especially again, like I said, I bounced off the bottom. Um, trying to find that that good happy medium. So part of that for me is kind of um, doing what I enjoy, trying to do more of the things uh, away from everything, right? Segregating myself from everything for a short period of time. It's not like I'm out um, doing weekends away or beach vacations by myself, leaving the kids, blah blah blah. No, I'm not doing that. Again, the kids are number one focus, always will be. But I try to get away at least once a week, maybe twice, depending. Sometimes I get away to go fishing because my son doesn't want to go with me because I usually catch more than he does, which I think is hilarious. But I take these rides, these long rides. Last weekend I actually took the Trail of Tears ride, like I said earlier. But that wasn't really a mental health ride because I was with 1,000 of my other other friends, so I wasn't by myself. So I take these rides, and I call them MHRs. They're mental health rides. I take them for a couple hours, and I try. I've started to try to share them with folks so that um, maybe they can gain something from them. Maybe there. I've got a GoPro. I've got my phone. I take video uh, while for the ride. I'm usually trying to take video in areas that are, um, you know, like the twisties and through the woods and things like that. And finding woods in Alabama isn't as hard as you might think, especially where we are. So I, I do that, and then I set it to a song. And it's not normally because again, my whole thing is music in how you feel, right, and how you equating certain types, certain genres, certain songs to a feeling or how you're feeling today. I will take that music and I will apply it to that MHR video and I post those. And these actually do pretty well. Um, the problem again, I'll go back to this. The original issue was actually I have a hard time with long form because I can't use a full song to do it. It kind of sucks, but that's okay. We're gonna work through it. So I'll probably do an MHR if the rain, if it dries up a little bit. I'll probably do it on Saturday. And then I'll post it on Sunday. So we'll make that happen. We got the game on Saturday. I don't know if anybody is a Georgia Bulldogs fan, but they're not gonna win. I know it's on the road. I know Alabama's lost 4 of the last 5 on the road, but I think Alabama's fired up because of that Week 1 loss. I still think that's carrying over because they got so much crap for losing. I was pissed. I was so angry when they lost. I was like, what the heck? How do you lose? How do you lose to freaking South Florida? That was just awful. So yeah, I'm gonna watch the Alabama game tomorrow night. Um, and so we got that going on for us. And Sunday we got the race. I don't watch a lot of NFL. I cannot get into the NFL. I don't know why. You'd think it would be easier to get into the NFL, because of there's not as many teams. But college football, I don't know. It's just more interesting, I guess. It's different. But then yeah, we got NASCAR on Saturday. I'm sorry, Trip. I do kind of one of those things. Thank you. I hope Alabama wins too. They will. I'm not gonna jinx them. Alabama's gonna win. So funny story. So I grew up in Syracuse, New York, right? And Syracuse, New York, whether you know it or not, everybody thinks that the South or Texas, they're all the football states, right? Or the football areas, SEC and all that. You go to Syracuse and it's just as bad. So I grew up a Syracuse fan. Sometimes, like you'll see me, I've got a Syracuse hat. I'll wear a Syracuse hat in videos or on lives or whatever. So I still, watch Syracuse teams. Syracuse is a better basketball franchise than they are football, but Syracuse football is still pretty good. And so I moved down here, and it was like a prerequisite. It was ridiculous. Wow, it was hilarious. Um, One of the first things we had to do, to basically become part of the community, was pick a team. It was either Alabama or Auburn, and um, it was funny because I picked Alabama. My ex-wife picked Auburn, um, obviously, and I can't remember. My kids didn't give a shit. My father-in-law picked Alabama, and my mother-in-law picked Auburn. She's an Alabama fan now, but originally she was an Auburn fan. So it was pretty hilarious. So couple so it's probably last summer we started getting calls. My daughter, my 16-year-old, who's incredibly intelligent and it coaches the marching guard and all that. She started getting calls from Alabama. Come to find out, she's been doing practices with the so Alabama football's got what they call the $1 million band. Right, that is their budget every year. Is this marching band gets $1 million, and they get to spend it on marching band stuff, right? And so my daughter is getting recruited by the $1 million band in Alabama to come be um, in their guard. So the joke going around now, the family, is um, is we're gonna get free tickets to Alabama to watch all the football games. So next year, fingers crossed, that she gets into Alabama on a free ride because Alabama's not cheap and I can't pay for all of that. If she gets a full ride, we're getting tickets. We're going to all the home games. I promise you, I'm gonna freaking live stream them from the stands. Man, the parents section is gonna be spectacular. So me and my current father-in-law. I don't even know if you call it a father-in-law anymore. What do you call it? So when you are divorced, but you still maintain a pretty good relationship with your ex-wife's mother, um, what do you call her husband? Father-in-law? Thanks, I appreciate it. I hope you have a good night too, man. So yeah, I mean, is it still father-in-law or is it just Robert? It could just be Robert. last 15 minutes of our little endeavor for this Friday. Close her out. Well, I mean, I hope everybody had a good night or is still having a good night. TikTokers, I will post the single fat dad logo on TikTok tonight, right after we get off of this, and I imbibe of more adulted beverages. I hope again everybody has a good night. I hope everybody's team wins this weekend. That's gonna be great. I hope if you got a driver, I hope the driver wins. I hope my driver wins more, but I hope yours wins too. Kinda. If you're a Georgia fan, I feel sorry for you. Just saying, because well, they're going into a whooping. They're gonna get the whooping. That's all there is to it. It's gonna be a whooping. Um, so might actually go live during the Alabama game. I think that should be fun. Watch all the Georgia Bulldogs fans freak out. Oh my god! Sorry, you're getting a whooping. You get the whooping. That's what. Yeah. So that's what's gonna happen. That's what we're gonna do. Oh, recap. How do we recap this thing? I can't sound like I can play music or anything. So recapping. It was a good week. Yeah, it was generally good. Friday. Friday sucked. But it is Friday, so how much can Friday really suck? And then, we did this thing. Did the Trail of Tears on Saturday. That was really cool. And going forward, this is going to be a single fat dad podcast. We'll brand it. We're going to put a name on it. We're going to put it out there, and we're going to advertise it. Hopefully, people will show up, and we'll build our community of single fat dads, SFDs. I'll even build a hashtag for it. Oh, there's my 13-year-old and her friend. Those two are probably sitting in the same damn room too. You're a little late there, Cooter. I am getting off. Yeah, like I said, sitting in the same room. So yeah. So this will be the Single Fat Dad podcast going forward. And we will talk to everybody next week. Keep an eye out for the lives, the randoms that I'll be doing. Like I said, if I go fishing, I'll probably go live early in the morning. And I know my 13-year-old daughter and all her friends will probably still be sleeping. So yeah, you guys missed it all. All right, we'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have fun. We are